Hello and welcome. Right, we have an awful lot of work to do, and I think I am going to do it. I did say I was going to do it, and then I thought, no, I won't. But then, why not? I think we'll sort of, because I was thinking we're almost in all areas close to somewhere like where I can drop the header and then drop the, or do we be sensible? I'm not sure. No, I think let's have a bit of fun. Yeah. So I'm looking at the header to this that I was working on. I've been working on the header. I was a bit disappointed. It's not working properly, but it very rarely does. But it was not working on a scale that I wasn't expecting. If you know what I mean. It was last time I tried it, because it was quite a ambitious sort of project. It's this, as you can see, is a window dressing, and if you look closely you can see that the middle bit is working, but if you look closely at the back you can't see either of the other two working. That's because the other two are really sort of like just a model, they're not actually. But what I have tried to do is triplicate the first header, which sounds you just like, well, you don't know. Each one of those little tiny cogs and that has got a number and like a label that represents it. And if what I did initially was I just copied and pasted all of those and then started the game, obviously I knew it did expect what happened to happen. It basically crashed the game, because everything has got to be unique. You can't just have 3 things with exactly the same names. So it's one of those monstrously big projects that I had to do. So I had to triple, each name had to be number 1, number 2, number 3. And that sounds again really easy. Well, it's alright, but it didn't quite work to plan. It didn't quite go, because when I've done that, although I've managed to do it so that it doesn't crash the game, in fact it doesn't even show any serious errors, it doesn't understand. The only thing that I got going was, instead of the middle one, the one on the left hand side, that big thing at the back that's going towards us and away, the big one that's rotating in the very middle. The ones on the left and the right, the one on the left was the only one working, and I thought, well, that's a bit odd. Yeah, but I'd obviously got the right thing for that one item. So it's sort of, although that's terrible, it's hopeful as well, because I can refer to what that number and see, well, why is the middle one not working, and why is the one on the left working when really the middle one should be working? What did I do that was right and yet wrong? And then I need to basically make sure and see why it's not, everything else is not working, because that's a bit of a shocker. It is, but it's still hopeful. Yeah, because at least it's not crashing the game. I knew it was ambitious. It may be that I know I'm on the right track, because I know, having lots and lots of examples, I knew it was going to be difficult. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but yeah, we will get there. Right, anyway, I think it's time to go into a time-lapse, because there's an awful lot to do. There is. So I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. And there we were done. Amazing. I'm a bit disappointed with the yield of the takes, but then I'm not really surprised either when I look at the size of the field in comparison to the others. This is really quite a small field, so it's not really too terrible, really. About 45 tons. Not too awful, really. Just struggling a bit with this. Yeah, I think we probably ought to swap. Let this take the empty 70 tonner. And we'll grab the fence to grab this one. Yeah, I think it makes a bit more sense. I think I'll leave this like here. have to go through the edge of the... No, I think we'll be alright. Yeah, it's angles are always deceptive. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the multifabricae. It accepts carrots and that, obviously, or it wouldn't sort of show it with the soups and that, but again, I've often had this when you first do a mod, it's not quite right. We've also had a major update this very night. I mean, really major. In fact, it's jumped 2 mod desks. Well, unless I missed one, and there was a silent update that actually did change the mod desk, which is the magic number that Giants... Yeah, and they do not allow any discrepancy now. They used to allow like a range of 2 or 3 numbers out for your things not to start to work properly. Let's do this first and we'll come back for the subleverness. Yeah, but now you've allowed 1, the very one that it should be. So there's no... Yeah, it's very, very strict. Stricter than they've ever been before. So, but yeah, the multifabricae is not accepting... It tried to, so it knows it should, but there's something not quite right with the... yeah, again, it has accepted a lot, though. It's only that this is the first thing that I've seen that it's struggled a bit with. The potatoes and all of the root crops, for some reason. And it is in the storage. If you look inside it, or it wouldn't show... It wouldn't actually show... Let's have a look. Yeah, red beets, potatoes, parsnips, and carrots. Yes, I pushed them in through nefarious means, but it hasn't actually pushed them through properly. I couldn't drop them in automatically. The glue's gone. I checked it now. This is the equivalent to a super now, where in the dairy side of things. So it'll be interesting to see how it does overnight. If I am right, I was adding up the guagua. It should be 21,000 litres. And I haven't ever seen that it goes like that high. So I don't know why. And we've definitely got plenty of guabines on hand. I mean, really, a shed load of that. So is that actually even ticking up slightly as we're watching? Because it really should be. With 3 sets of that. I don't get what is... Have I forgotten to put something in for it? Let's have a look. Am I forgetting? So I've done it before where I forgot to put water in or something. Have I done that? No. No. Definitely no water lost. So it's only water and guabines and it makes guaglue. So 48... Hang on, has that not gone up? And now that I've kept the same. Oh no, I think this was right anyway. So it's 48 times 150 is 7,200 litres per one, which is 21,000 litres. If it works like that, you've got 3 of the same thing. I'm not sure if it does do that. I've always sort of wondered about this. Do I just triple the one and remove the 2 others? I've never felt this worked quite right. But you can do this with greenhouses, but maybe greenhouses are special. Maybe I just need to increase the cycles for the one thing instead of trying to put 3 machines in, as I always said. Which is, again, the game works in a specific way. So, yeah, I've always sort of, whenever I've done the guabines, I've always sort of thought this is not quite right. Never, so another 9, nearly 10 tons in this as well. We'll send that header back. So that is the last of our harvest. It is. Yeah, I always find, I must admit, I did, on Frankenmuth, it was the very first time I'd done my, the maiden voyage of my luxury desserts. Couldn't quite think of its special name. Luxury desserts, it was the first time I'd done something of that sort of scale. Now this is even, again, like a bigger scale. It's sort of a really large factory, so I'm not sort of totally shocked that I'm having a bit of a difficulty to begin with it. Yeah, you usually do. I'm sort of getting to expect it now. It's par for the course with something new that doesn't quite right and you've got to iron the kinks out. Don't think there's any errors with it though. That's not me. Yeah, that's the density map. So that's not us. Loading with invalid case. GM bottle. Right, okay, so I need to sort that. That's nothing special, though. Yeah, that really is not anything special at all. Let's just try and save the game as well. Yeah, I don't like seeing bad things like that. Always. So how well did we do in total? Yeah, so obviously we've got a lot in the large corner production silo that hasn't gone across. We've got 126,000 litres of parsnips, 48,000 litres of potatoes, 134,000 litres of red beets. No, did we do? I think we did the carrots. Yeah, 130,000. And in the actual multifabricator itself, we've got 41,000. And milk is a lot. Parsnips 26, red beet 32, potatoes none. Yeah, we've literally only just stuck that in and the hour's not gone. So yeah, that is quite amazing. So yeah, cracking sort of session really. I'm going to leave it there. We will crack on. I just wanted to show the amounts. So we're looking, yeah, pretty. How much is that? Here's the biogas plant doing. Yeah, how much are we doing in the mini self-sufficiency? Have we got plenty digestate? Grass is going nicely. Yeah, so the silage is going across. It is. So, yeah, that's what the hourly tick-up I keep seeing is at the corner of my eye. So, I think we did the animals already, didn't we? Earlier. Yeah, we did. And, yeah, definitely did. So, this is really strange. It is, I'm sort of trying to get my head around this. What this sort of means, why it's doing this weird, is it sort of, I don't know, perhaps that they don't all take births in the same month. Perhaps it's that, you know, that they're not, the bull doesn't actually catch them all in the same month. Just put it that way. It could be, because that explains why the months are so all over the place. I was just trying to sort of look at this. Obviously, I mean, real life farming is complicated, so it's just adding probably the complication that last birth 1 month. I don't get this though. We don't seem to be 19, 27, 36, 36. I can't remember how many we did buy for this one. Yeah, it's, you know, with seeing all the numbers split, I'm like thinking, have we had births, really? Because, no, we know we haven't, because they're all 33 months. So I don't get what this last birth 5 months, because that's all rubbish. We've had no births. And then it goes reproduction state in progress, reproduction 40. But look at the split. That's at 0%. They were all the same. So to me, no matter how much I'm trying to be understanding about the mod, it's not working right, because they're all exactly 33 months. They were all bought at the same time. So they should all be 40% if one is, not at different sort of states. And one at 0%? What's that about? Last birth 1 month ago, we've had no births. We've got all that we've got already. So I don't get it. It's like, it's just obviously not working right. Again, stupid me for really adopting something, because it then gives you a bad taste, and then you remove it, and then everyone else loves it. And I mean, I tried this a lot last time, and it was fairly stable. But this time it's not got as many features, which I'm glad, because some of the features I thought got out of hand, deaths. But I was sort of thinking about this myself, and I said it a few sessions ago. Now, there are certain situations where, like, animals get put on a map, and they're sort of like in stasis, you could say. Now, we know that can't happen, but what I mean is it's a game. So if you're allowing deaths and you switch deaths on, you may well jump into a farm where there were 8 cows and they're all actually a pile of bones on the floor because this mod has killed them. And that's what I'm saying. It's sort of, it is a game. And when you start to do things like that, it does bring in elements that, oh yeah, that's realistic, all right, but then it means you can't ever do any trick like you've often had farms where they've tried to keep in stasis your cows, and you're going to get some cows when you buy that patch. It can't happen anymore if that mod's allowed to kill your animals, and it was allowed to kill your animals. So yeah, it's realism, but is it a realism that the game can cope with the way that sort of things go? So let's just have a look at the guar. Yeah, it is true. I might actually try, because it is sort of, I mean, this is working very well. That the super guar bean is definitely producing a lot of guar beans finally, which is good. But the actual, we can see the guar beans are like going through the roof, but they're not actually doing anything. Yeah, I mean, what I mean is, yeah, I think it's done one tiny litre of this all of, since we've been like talking. It was 6497. Let's just actually watch this. It's actually, yeah, it wouldn't, I just would like to sort of see, if we go to 360, before it goes silly speeds, and then we go in, let's have a bit of a look and watch how that does go up. 53, 93, that's 40. I'd say that's an hour. So 40 an hour, and the 24 hours. It's not a lot, is it? No, it isn't. That is really quite awful. It should be going up. Yeah, I mean, it's now 1:30. So it's like the cycles are not taken into consideration. There are 3, which means perhaps I should triple the guagu. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm gonna like just save the game. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna try removing the other 2, but increasing that on 3-fold, and we shall see if that works, because it's just not right as it is. So I'm gonna be right back. See you shortly. Right, so we've sorted that. I've just checked as what it is actually. It's true. It has only got the one thing inside now, and the multi-fabricator. So one guar glue, it's still on because it is. So the cycles are now 3 times. So this is exactly the same. I don't know why I never did this in the first place. I did always say that it was a bit. So it's now 300, 300, 500. I've altered the loss slightly as well. So it's 600. You're losing a fifth or a sixth, something like that. So again, it's still only 48 cycles, but there's more of those, what it's doing. So let's actually just watch the guar glue go on out. So 6, 7, 8, 9. If we just go to 360, like we did before, and see, what is that like now? 6, 8, 1, 8. 6, 8. It's about 60 odd. 929. 984. So 70 odd per hour. It's definitely going up better. Let's have a look at the actual. No, that really is it. It's literally watching those. With some productions, you can see it like flying. That's definitely better than it was. Let's have a look. Let's go through. Okay, let's just. I'm trying to press the button to go down, and I'm like, it's not in the right page. So it's 6 o'clock at night. So 7256. So if we do this, the maths, it's like, let's have a look. 6 o'clock at night, you could say. So till 12 there's another 6 hours, and then there is another 8. So there's 14 hours. So well over half of a day left if you go like straight through till tomorrow morning. So that really should be, if we do it on an hourly basis, if I pull up a calc, and we've got, according to the stats, so we've got 14 hours. So if we times 14 by, according to that, it should be 500 per hour. But I don't think we're seeing that. So times 500 means we should see an increase of 7,000 if the maths is right, which of course they should be. I mean, you can't sort of lie about that. The maths is the maths, unless they don't work as the way that I've always thought they did. Now, I know it does if you do something like Yeah, I mean, I've done it, so I know it does work in certain situations, but I don't know if it treats things differently. As far as I'm concerned, maths is maths. There isn't any, it's that cycles by, if we go to the guar glue, being as it's like disappeared. Yeah, if you look, it's 48 cycles per month, which is 48 times 500. So 48 times 100 would be 4,800. So times 5 of those is, if you said it was 5,000, for those would be 20,000, which is pretty much what I said before. So that would mean like overnight, we would expect to see a lot, 14,000 odd at least. So that should be 21,000 in the morning, approximately. So if we like go sleep through, we've done our animals and everything, and it's going to be 9 o'clock. So that even there's an extra hour as well. We should still see exactly what we would have seen before as well with, right, smashing. So vehicle leasing costs, because we didn't release the header, maintenance, upkeep, and production's 1,000. So not too terrible. So let's first of all release the header that I got so engrossed in doing this that I totally forgot about it. Yeah, typical. The amount of times I do. Luckily, it's not exactly terrible. Yes, I'm a bit disappointed in the sublevamous header that it was quite as poor. I mean, I was always quite happy with it as it is, but I wanted to do it better, basically. So what did we get after a full 14 hours? See, that's pathetic. That's just not right. The maths is wrong. Yeah, I mean, it really is. So it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. So it's more like I've got to increase the cycles. And because this produces this, unless it ran out, which would be miraculous because we've seen that the water and the guar beans are pretty, yeah, I mean, that's filled. So the greenhouse is doing fantastically. But the guar beans to make guar glue, now we know it's not wrong, as in it's definitely working, but that did about 1,000 something. Yes, it's at 7,000. So it would have to be ramped up something chronic to make that. It's 48 cycles per month. But yeah, it doesn't really make any difference. It's 48 times 500. It will do 48 times that particular amount. That's an awful lot of guar glue. It's certainly not what we're seeing. I mean, 10 times 500 is 5,000, and we definitely didn't get anywhere near. It's 1,000. So, I mean, it's just the maths is not right. Whether, yeah, the one thing that I always do wonder, is there a limit? What I mean is, does it reduce the amount of like things that happen if you've got so many? Now, I know with a production silo, it doesn't particularly care about it. Obviously, having had them a lot and studied them quite a bit, they just seem to like just work because you're not actually doing anything with the cycles. You're not like, it's not doing work. I mean, I don't ever know, and I don't know that anybody knows. There's no thing that says you've got a limit. So what I'm saying is, if I've got like, if normally 10 was the maximum and I've got 30, do I then reduce my output by the 2/3 that I'm over? In other words, do I have to increase the cycles crazily to make this work, or does it just not do any more than what it's doing now due to the fact that I'm working it too hard? I mean, I don't know that even if we tripled, yeah, I mean, it's sort of, this is sort of like going a bit mad. I'm just trying to think, am I missing something? I mean, it is just guar beans and water produce that, and it has a cost which is sort of mediocre, not cheap, but not too expensive, but it's just not doing that. So to me, the only thing that can be, if the maths is right, which we know it is, if the calculator does not lie, then it's got to be the fact that the factory is only doing, what I'm trying to say is if you're allowed 10 and I've got 30, it means that everything's only going to go at a third of its normal speed. Now, the other thing is that we could look at was the buffalo milk and like what it's doing, because we found that was pathetic too. Yeah, and it still is. The buffalo milk bottled is pathetic too. The beetroot broth, no, we've not switched those on. That was my own fault because I was so engrossed in this. The butter, likewise, this should be flying, and it's like really bad. So to me, it's like because we've got so much going on in this factory that it's sort of like saying, nah, you can't do it, or I'm gonna like split the outputs down by. So I think to compensate for that, if you can, if there is a limit to this type of thing, I think you'd have to increase the cycles insanely and see if that has an impact at all, or whether it still stays at a pathetic amount, in which case you know that you're sort of onto a winner, that it really is about there's a certain amount that it can do and you're really best to do. I mean, because when you consider, we can't really show it now, but yeah, the biogas plant, it's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that it does. And we know it does do what it says on the tin. It really does do, like 977, 48 times that, which is 48,000 litres. And it really does work that simply. So what I'm saying is if like the limit was 7 or say 15 like a greenhouse and I've done 30, does that half my outputs of everything? And it could be like that. This is the one thing I've never really understood, and there's no playbook for this. It really is sort of one of those things where you trial and error and like think, okay, so that doesn't work well. And I suppose the only way you could really do that was if you like put 7 things, a factory of 7, and they all work exactly as the math says it should, you're on to win. If you increase one thing at a time until you reach, and then it starts to reduce everything, that you were onto a winner. It's true that you cannot alter the power of the factory, is what I'm trying to say, if it's got an exact power. Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting. It is, because obviously I think all of us like to know, well, how does it actually really work? And this seems to to be terribly weak. And I've got to sort of like work out. I mean, I keep saying about the dairies being terribly weak, but now I wonder, is it because my dairies have got a lot going on? As in, like, because it's doing lots of different, it's doing my milk and it's doing Giant's milk. So is that affecting the dairies? If I just did my milk, would it be more powerful than doing both sets of milk? Or does it not have an impact on things at all? But I mean, we know that this is right. This is only 48. And this, you do get this lot. It processes almost 1,000 litres, you could say. So that's 48,000 to produce 48 times this lot here, I believe. That is right, because that is one cycle would produce 747 and 877. So 48 times that would produce 48 times each one of those amounts. But this is what it processes to make that. So 48 times that equals that is what you get out of it, which is, as we can see, very generous, really. Yeah, and it varies. So yeah, I'm going to have a look at this and see what I can actually do, because I mean, my losses are right on this as what I always wish to do, or I've just tweaked that a little, but it really is this. If anything, the 3 were doing something, if not what they should have been. We're definitely doing more than this. I don't know that it was, though. Yeah, I'm going to say, because it really makes no difference if I increase this that away. It still means that if that is trying to sort of think about the maths here, if that should have been 21,000 litres, it should have been 14,000 litres overnight, and it's gone up like maybe 1,002. I'm trying to think of the percentages. That's like 10% would be 1,400. So maybe it is at that. So if that means, it means this is like working at 10% of its capacity. So it's overpowered by 90%. It's reducing the power by 90 because there's too much going on, is what I'm sort of trying to think. Which means I would have to increase this by a manyfold and see if that actually, if I just doubled this, would it actually, if you went over a complete day, yeah, we'll have to do some testing. I will have to literally do some testing because this is quite intriguing now on how this does work. It'd be nice to crack how the factories are actually really working in total, like in the game full stop. So, but this is definitely for another time. Yeah, it is. I'm going to literally, I think I'm going to do some testing because this has intrigued me to the point that I really, really would like to know. The greenhouses, I mean, I can see just by increasing these as I have done that the difference between a standard, a bionic and a super is quite a lot. It really is double, and I can feel that. You can see that's definitely working. Now I've seen the guar beans on other things like this straw factory, which has obviously far less inputs than this, and that seems to work well. It struggles a bit on the chipping factory, and that's got more, and that's what I'm saying. I said the same on that one, so it does make you wonder if that too has got the same thing, that you've gone over the limit, that not a limit, but you start to reduce the power or the output of whatever you're doing, basically. So yeah, it's very late. I just cannot settle down to sleep tonight, so I've just thought, oh, I'll just crack on and finish this. So I have done, but your mind plays tricks with you, and you're not as bright or as sharp as you should be when you're tired. So I'm hoping I can actually settle down. Yeah, so all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on what's left of this journey, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.